The time has come. Oops, not for that, but for this. We're gonna see if we can make it through the official S rank. As said, you only need to do this once. Because of the way the game handles high-ranked tournaments, once you do it, you never have to go through this hurdle again. Here we are at the official tournament, Grade S, the highest. Fiercest monsters will battle it out for the gold. The battle's about to begin. Let's win. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. Yeah, you know things are getting serious when they start busting out mythological and biblical references. Prometheus, Goliath, Thanatos, and so on. Yeah, this is pretty serious stuff. His attack stats are all high. His defenses are relatively low. If I land one solid hit, I think I can make this work. Alright, let's get away from his gut-sapping abilities, shall we? Everything he has is gut-sapping, of course. I'm not over the frustrations that I had to deal with in the last one, so now I just get to do it all over again. I can tell he's getting old. He has like 95 loyalty, which... That's because certain things like mint leaves and nuts oil do kind of mess with your loyalty in very small ways. So... Oof, alright. Looks like you won't be giving fire to anyone today, Prometheus. I have to say, that's one of the more interesting hanger designs. I'm actually disappointed that the modern games don't go out of their way to do cool details like that. Ah, good. It's like a more annoying version of Oakley Man. For a moment I was worried that this wouldn't be the most annoying thing in the world. But thankfully, his build is actually very reminiscent of our own. And thankfully, his accuracy is about as terrible as mine. Did not mean to do that. Playing it safe and using as little guts as possible on each attack is the name of the game. I can't even really rely on my high accuracy attacks. I have a few of those, but they all cost way too much. To the point where they're frankly kind of comedically useless. Like, having new attacks is great, and some attacks have to be unlocked in a chain fashion, but you just end up in those weird ones where it's like, you just may as well not exist because the guts cost is just too high. Alright. It's a very stupid game of luck versus luck, but I suppose we came out on top for what that's worth. This is a color Pandora, not a Koro Pandora. I actually had the Lone Ranger read the original text and give me the breakdowns. It's color Pandora, 2 words. Color Pandoras are actually kind of reminiscent of plants. Of course, it's a gut stealer, because of course it is. They just don't want me to even play the game at this point. It's basically just a stall tactic, which is honestly why I was really a big fan of the Death Blow tournaments in Monster Rancher Advance 2, is because stupid strategies like that wouldn't win the day. You would actually get punished for trying those builds there. I didn't figure that would work, I just wanted to see it. Now, Color Pandora as a species is like this weird caterpillar worm thing, at least in Monster Rancher 2. in the rest of the series, for some reason, its body segments break off and they become this little triplet set monster creature. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know, I've always kind of associated them as this weird, chunky caterpillar thing. So the fact that it can do that, I thought was more of an Easter egg and less of a major feature of the monster. They have very good HP growth and long lifespans, and that's about as far as my praise for them goes. They're not a breed that I go out of my way to raise. So having said that, I'll almost certainly have to later in this Let's Play, right? I'm of the opinion that you can beat this game with any monster if you put your heart into it. Very defensive monster. This is anyone's game. I think if I can land one solid hit, I think I'll be okay. Just wait. It's not time yet. I should have known that wouldn't work. Even when their speed's as terrible as mine, I should not have the expectation that that's going to work out in my favor. Okay, one good bonk ought to do it. I'd like to knock him out just because he's annoying, but... I'll be honest, never raised the Niton. Having fought them, not sure I wanna. Stall tactics are not a favorite of mine. You're using like a squishy wizard and dodging is the name of the game. It's not a bad idea to just stop attacking once you've dealt enough damage and just wait for them to exhaust themselves so that the guts favors, you know, on your side. But having said that, I don't consider that stall. This gut sapping is such an annoying tactic. It's just... It's like playing blue in Magic the Gathering. You're just being that guy and like, no, you don't get to play the game anymore. He's definitely going to open up with that. Of course. Not so fun on the receiving end now, is it? I was really hoping that would have been the end of that. Jokers debuted in Monster Rancher 2. And they're very popular for edgy kids. Now, I would say that you have to unlock them in every game they appear in, but that's not true. In Monster Rancher 4, you don't have to unlock Jokers. But in most games you do. Now, you'd think that they would have some kind of weird duality with Galley. They really don't. That's between Galley and Mommel, actually. But according to Monster Rancher 2, they have a thematic duality with pixies. There's a particular statue you visit, and the statue of, I think, the knight. Oh boy, this is like fighting myself, but dumber. And he's going to start with the Gut Sap. Every single enemy in this tournament. Having said that, there's a statue there of, I believe it's the Knight statue in Promias. And when you go there, there is a bit that mentions Jokers or a Pixie if you have one species or the other. And it's a requirement to unlock a hidden breed for each. You just wand to me. Now, I don't know. I don't know if that was something that was retconned into the lore, but I think it's interesting despite that. I think the idea of pixies being like life and energy and Jokers are like entropy, I think it's a really interesting comparison to make, because I don't think everyone would go to that, because those are kind of abstract themes. I really likes using that move. That was actually not as bad as I was afraid it was going to be. Just tired of every single person in the S rank using a Gut Sap strategy. Like, I get it. The Niton is going to do that, but, like, why is everyone else doing it, too? Monster Rancher Advance 2 is really good, by the way. If you guys ever get the chance to play it, honestly, I don't have very high opinions of Monster Rancher 3, as those who've been around the channel for a long time already know. I generally consider Monster Rancher 3 and most of the mechanical decisions it made, of course, most of the decisions it made to be one huge mistake after another. But having said that, rather than jumping straight into, like, a collection for the PS2 games, which I imagine would be more mechanically and technically complex, I think they should maybe consider doing a re-release for the advanced games. Because the advanced games are really, really good. And I think that, especially now, because the password system was so self-contained and didn't rely on any kind of meta, like you didn't have to have other Game Boy Advance cartridges or anything weird like that. I think that would be a really good thing to consider doing, is Advance and Advance 2 DX, or Refine, as it was known in Japan. I think they should. I think they absolutely should, because I think it's one of those things that would actually do really well, especially on a Switch environment, for instance. Because the advanced games are way, way, way better than they look. Because they look very simple. RockLobster is the winner. I could gush about Advance all day, but let's focus on the matter at hand then, shall we? Okay, that was really frustrating, because every single enemy used the same strategy. But this is a result of this tournament. Nice chunk of change there to top it all off. Not even going to comment. Intelligence and speed. Sorry, RockLobster, that's not going to help you a whole lot. I want fish. Well, you've earned fish. I guess it makes sense that a water monster would prey on fish, right? No, I have to say, this has been a very successful first monster. Yes, who is it? An express mail from Ima. Guess I have to sign first. Here you go. Good. He is so tired of her. Snek, we did it! Yes, yes, pop it open, pop it open. 6th rank. We're entering the highest ranks of trainers if you make it this far. Indeed. And just like before, we're gonna start getting invitations. Because once again, that, I guess... Oh, that's the... that's the I'm a Fimba Amity meet. Gosh, that ties it all back together nicely, doesn't it? I'll be honest, I don't think RockLobster is the one who's going to clear the 4 tournaments. Not going to stop me from trying. But I know that he can do at least one, I think. I'm going to push it and see how far we get. And I'll see you guys at the next milestone. Well, goodness, that did not take long at all. It's literally the next week. Is this next residence? Please sign here, okay? Thank you. Good. Have a nice day. Oh. Let's pop this thing open. Based on our achievements, you're qualified to participate in the tournament. Greatest 4, 2nd week of February. An invitation to the Major 4. Greatest 4. This is the tournament where year's most strongest monsters participate. Most strongest. Superlative. Superlative. What's that? Double superlative? Let's not get those monsters defeat you, RockLobster. Colt, are you actually getting worse at English? Or it's more likely that the end-game text is later in the data, and thus they had less time to refine it. This is it, guys. We're gonna try it. I'll see you there. It's impossible. RockLobster can't beat this tournament. I tried it many times, off camera. There's a dragon, a joker, and a Durahan. The dragon's not really that big of a deal. The Joker, if you're lucky, I can quick draw him. The Durahan, it's impossible. Durahans are some of the god monsters of this game, and beating one is no small feat. They are incredibly economical. They basically never need to stop attacking, and that one has such high stats that he always has a 99% hit chance and does way, way, way more damage than a 925 defense stat should indicate. RockLobster is likely plateaued now. There's really nothing left for him. Because if he can't win this one, odds are pretty good he's not going to win any of them. Remember, this is not Monster Rancher 1, which was a lot more merciful, particularly in its endgame segments. And this is actually part of the reason why I was kind of dreading doing this in the first place, because not only is that how you beat the story, and I have many times, it's a prerequisite to unlock a lot of other breeds. You actually need to be a high enough rank, and that includes beating some of the major four, and in one case, at least all of them. But RockLobster just can't do it. Now, looking at him, you'd think he'd be fine. But it's just not possible, is what I'm saying. But he's a first-generation monster, so I'm going to let it go. I might try some of the others, but I mean, I don't expect any better luck there than here. So I'm largely going to consider this the end of RockLobster's lifespan, and I'll try to bump his skill up just to get a nice round number for whatever I fuse him with. And we're going to shift gears, because I've been very deliberately avoiding a particular mechanic that is locked behind a particular event. You only need to be D-ranked to even activate it and have a monster with enough HP. You'll see what I'm talking about soon. So, unless RockLobster somehow wins some kind of fluke, freak win in one of the other Great Four tournaments, you can pretty much consider this the last time you're going to see him. I'm going to jump ahead and see if luck is either on our side, or if we're going to begin a new leg of the Let's Play and going into expeditions. So everyone, we're back on the ranch with a new arrival. Say hi to Koto. I polled the other Tomodachi bros about what monster we should use for this next leg of the game, and they were all pretty insistent that this particular type of pixie, which is a mint, by the way, a pixie/tiger, be used for it. Now, not only is this just a good combination because it puts a lot of emphasis on skill and speed, both traits that she'll need a lot of, but it will also help in the fact that, well, this might be anecdotal, but in my experience, tiger subtypes tend to be a little more player-friendly. Now again, I could be imagining that, as I know there are certain values set at birth, so she might be a little hellion for all I know. Oh, and by the way, her name is Koto in honor of a space synthwave band that Ditaku told me about before I started playing again. There was a little bit of downtime between the last episode and this one. Not going to get too into the details about that because it's in serious nobody cares territory. Long story short, we're ready to kick off with the next generation, who is going to start, and with any luck, excel in the world of expeditions. Now, there's a lot riding on this particular monster, so a lot of expectations are riding on Koto here. I hope you'll root for her as we move into the future, as we begin exploring the world around us. So, I'm going to jump ahead, because you can't start doing that at rank E, obviously. But there's more to come, so look forward to us unlocking some more monsters. So, I've really only gotten underway in training Koto a little bit, and Colt has decided our house is too small. You know, he will say a house is a trainer's face. Literally never heard that in my life. We need a nice-looking house to make us feel better. Make you feel better, maybe. It'll cost 8,000. Yeah, knock yourself out. I'll go to Bento's. Now that I understand what you want, leave it up to us. Sure. Let's go to the Pab's house. How about that? Perfect. How can you finish the job so quickly? That's a corporate secret. Never mind. Take my payment now. Wonder what he does to get this so quick. Well, I mean, if it works, right? I guess it's kind of immaterial to us. Upside is, it means we get to hold more items now. And had another little wholesome on-the-ranch moment, I suppose. I believe there's one more barn upgrade, and then I think maybe another house upgrade. Which will, I think, be the last one, but I'll have to double-check that. Funny enough, that's actually another prerequisite to unlock other breeds, and I don't just mean Baku and Golem in this case. But, back to the grind, and we'll see you when either something happens, or when Koto is ready to begin her first expeditions. In what might be further proof that this really should have been a screenshot Let's Play instead of a video-based one, I kind of had two events queue back-to-back, one of which I posted up on my Twitter feed on a Sunday evening as a teaser image, where we got our first diamond from the cup jellies, and now we're getting one of our first events for the seed. Look, the seed we saw is already germinated. Yes, that, I hope it'll grow big. I mean, it's literally just two little sprigs above the surface. I'm gonna be honest, these little updates are the ones that kill my soul the most. I know you guys are expecting more, and so was I. But, like, I can't ignore these events. They're actually important to the unlock prerequisites. But yeah, you're gonna have to go through, I believe, 10 year events with the seed event in order to get the monster you unlock at the end of it. Because, yes, it's a monster species unlock event, of all things. So, yeah. Yeah, you said it, Koto. Alright, once more into the breach. And we're back. Now what are we back to? No, you're about to see. Now, as I implied during my teaser earlier this week, I've been feeding Koto nothing but cup jellies. This is another prerequisite unlock for another monster unlock, and we'll get to that when we get to that. But I believe we have 3 at present, and it's random. You can save scum it if you want, but I don't really feel a need to. Yes, who is this? Is this Snek's residence? Yes, it is, but who are you? Oh, this is my calling card. Talico, Torbal University archaeologist. Dr. Talico, Torbal University? What is the purpose of your visit? Once upon a time, the world was one big continent. God sealed the monsters into the disc stones and hid all the disc stones in a shrine. No, the disc stones were scattered to the 4 corners of the earth. They weren't just conveniently laid out in the shrine. I've ascertained that the legendary shrine is located on this continent. Oh, he's talking about a particular shrine, but the way he phrased that made it sound like an absolute, so I was like, what? No. No, aha. It's a great discovery. I must go there. Well, what does it have to do with us? It looks like that... What? There are various obstacles on the way to the shrine. Oh, it looks like that there are various obstacles on the way to the shrine. I want you guys to go on this adventure with me. I'll pay you and give you some of the items you find during the adventure. Wrong and wrong. He does not pay you a thing, but you do get to keep all the items found. Ha. In order to get rid of those obstacles and proceed with this adventure, we have to use a monster. A strong monster, that is. Came here because Pabs told me. Oh, you know Pabs. You should have said that at the beginning. Now I understand. Snek, your monster might get injured. Do you want to make it go with him? Do you make it go with him? Okay. Now, this is actually kind of an unlock unto itself. I deliberately avoided having this come up when I was using RockLobster because, well, the expedition stats primarily are intelligence and skill. You want power and life to some extent, but tanks, yeah, tanks aren't great for expeditions. You can sometimes luck sack results, but don't count on it because, well, we've already kind of seen how the RNG treats the player in this game to start. Now, that said, there are ups and downs to this, because even if your monster has the best stats, even if you have maxed stats, there's a chance that you might not get anything. But you have to have certain minimum stats in order for certain items to even appear. This expedition in particular is literally the only one we can go on, which is why its unlock prerequisite is so low. But once we do this, once your monster hits B rank or above, all the other ones become unlocked as well. So Koto, who's currently C rank, is going to focus her life to expeditions and maybe a little cash earning. She will... I don't... Well, she might be able to make a showing at the Great Four, but that's not why I have her. Instead, we're going to focus on trying to get her HP as high as possible because it's no longer just a set amount of time like it was in Monster Rancher 1. But at the same time, monsters don't get lost like they do in Monster Rancher 1, making expeditions much less frustrating in that respect. You know what's going to happen? Something might injure your monster. Are you sure? Getting injured during an expedition is actually pretty uncommon. I've been injured more from a rantry than expedition. But Talico, we can let it go. That's just what I would expect of Snek. Wonderful. Either Colt or Snek come with me on the adventure. I can't handle your monster by myself. You even know my name. Okay, I'll go with you. Well done, let's go. Are we all ready? Yeah, you better take off before you change your mind. Let's go. This is actually one of those things that was greatly improved in the Monster Rancher Advanced games because you could literally just say, hey, I want to go on an expedition right now, as opposed to having to play to their timetable. In fact, the Advanced games fixed a lot of issues with the PlayStation games. Maybe I'll cover those at some point. Would you guys want to see that? I'm just going to stop talking at this point, because odds are good that I'm going to have to run this over and over and over again to get the result I want. So, see you. No, I'm kidding. I probably will just run this as many times as necessary, but there's only one map, and I will explain a little bit as we go. Let's get started. Ahem. Before we start, let me explain a little bit about adventure. At the beginning of an adventure, energy points will be given depending on your monster's life stat. That's literally the worst way you could have explained that. What energy? This energy will be the life gauge for this adventure. The energy will be consumed with each step your monster makes. Yes, one step is 1 point of HP, and to investigate something or to attempt to remove an obstacle is 10. It'll also be reduced. The monster checks the inside of a building. And there's a rock that might be sitting in its way. Always pay attention to your monster's energy level as you proceed with your adventure. Come back to base camp while your monster still has some energy points. Hits -10. Wow. Okay. You have until you hit -10 energy to get your butt back to base camp. Our energy is actually so low, I'm probably not even going to worry about the lifespan hit. So, yeah. If you don't, the monster's lifespan will be shortened. Yes, let's take off on the adventure. Now, there's actually only, like, one way to go. Like, if you go right there, there's actually nothing, like, there. It's just a dead end. But this map is actually pretty straightforward. It's just kind of a little spiral. A little bit of a blind corner back there, because good design. But this is actually a power-based obstacle. This is not going to be great for us. Koto has pitiful strength, but there's actually a fairly good chance she'll remove this regardless. It's actually not all that bad. Because there's a very special event that we actually kind of need to queue in order for anything to actually happen. Like I said, I'm just gonna run this until I get it, so... Wow, this is bad even for Koto stats. In later maps, you can use a tank in order to clear the board, because as far as I know, these obstacles don't respawn. And then actually have your expedition monster come in later. This one's kind of an odd duck in regards to expeditions, and, well, let's just say I can't afford to miss this opportunity, or it's going to be a huge pain in the butt. And this is the point where I'm going to stop talking, because the expedition technically begins here, and I don't have that much energy, so I'm just going to run this until fortune smiles upon me, and I'll start talking again when that happens. Oh, there's an entrance here. I smell something in this cave. What? What do you smell? I don't mean that kind of smell. I feel something related to disc stones, or how can I say it? I have a feeling that monster's legend may be buried in here, because good translation. Really? They usually say women's intuition, but I guess we should call it doctor's intuition this time. Shall we investigate? Now what's that sound? That's the sound of me having the game in fast-forward mode. Oh, isn't that the legendary monster, Phoenix, the guardian deity of the mountain? It's not just a legend, it's real and alive. I better let him know about this as soon as possible. Who? Who are you going to tell about it? Huh? Oh, never mind. Anyway, seems like this is not the place I'm looking for. Wonder where the Shrine of Gods is. By the way, I wonder if Koto's alright. She is. She is perfectly fine. So after restarting entirely too many times, because, well, let's face it, if you can't handle RNG, Monster Rancher is probably not the franchise for you. But after 5 or 6 restarts, at long last, I found the most important thing that we can take away from this. This is the fire feather left by the legendary monster. If we investigate, we might be able to unravel... Unvavel? Unvavel? That's just incompetence! Unvavel isn't a word! We might be able to unravel the unknown secrets of the Phoenix. Yes, yes, my thing is full. I think I'm happy getting rid of some disc chips for this. No, we're done. We're leaving. Bye. Go down. I swear I thought you could slide down that on the way out. Oh well. Let's see if we can make it, guys. It'll be a race. I don't honestly think we can, but... like I said, I don't care. Getting that feather is more important. Nothing else we can do. We reach our limits, and then SOS and ask for help. As long as we live, we'll be able to challenge it again another day. No matter what you say, this adventure was a big failure. You can say that if you want. I got what I wanted. I'm dead. The adventure was a failure this time. Let's buckle up our gear next time. Because she's exhausted, and I need to mitigate that as much as possible. Lower her stress a bit with a high-calorie cat food diet. Yeah, no dir. But, failure or no, we get to keep the item in question. Flaming Feather is too hot to use as a feather pen. Yes, I imagine it would be. So, let's go into town and put this to immediate good use. We'll have to put our little pixie on ice here, but that's okay. She's part tiger, that probably doesn't bother her much. Now we just need some fusion fodder, and it literally does not matter what you use, there's no special prerequisites for this. First, choose the monster you want to use as a main breed. It literally does not matter, so I'm going to use this. I was going to use a slated forward pixie, but then Jutaku asked if I would use a mint instead. We use the Flaming Feather. This can be used as secret seasoning. This combination doesn't look so good. I can't recommend it. Even though there's literally only one result. And having done that, we now have unlocked the Phoenix. The Phoenix has a very long lifespan, very good stat gains across the board, and generally is considered one of the god monsters of Monster Rancher 2. Understandably, I got pretty good at raising them myself. Phoenix is a unique monster. When we saw the volcano, let's take good care of it. Oh, I hadn't thought of a name. Well, that's okay. I have something in mind. Perfect. Now its name is right. And then I get to do the strangest of activities, which is to freeze a phoenix. This somehow works. Well, our first expedition was a rousing success, and if I can quit slowly killing my monster, Koto can look forward to many more like that in the future. Now that we have done that initial expedition, expeditions on the whole are now unlocked. You must be B rank, and again, you want stats that are good for expeditions, which she basically does. Except I need to get her power and life stats up. That's really like her only soft spot. So, we'll jump ahead until that time comes, and I'll see you then. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think this one would trip. I thought you had to be B rank for this to happen, but no, I'm C rank, and, well, no, I'm B rank now. I just finished the tournament, which is what makes this such terrible timing. Hello, young lady. Snek here. Excuse me, but who are you? I'm Cavaro. You could say I'm a treasure hunter who travels to historic remains in all kinds of places. Say, I have some business to discuss with Snek. You can talk to me. I'm the trainer assistant. Really? Oh, okay. They say an ancient civilization existed in Pear jungle. I'm planning to go there to search for the mystery of it. I need a monster to help me on this adventure. You mean Koto? Uh-huh. Koto has gone on an adventure before. And I'll pay good money, too. No, he doesn't. That's a lie. Wait a minute. What should we do, Snek? Is it okay? We're doing this because, at this point, I've made so many mistakes raising Koto, it's just whatever. It's okay, Cavaro. Great. You should leave immediately before you guys change your mind. That's too sudden. I'm all ready to go. But I want one of you to come with me. I'll go with you. You're the one who wants to go? Okay. Let's go then, young lady. Yeah, I don't travel well. I would send Colt to do this on my behalf. Now, there is one particular item here that we're gonna need. And I really want it because it's actually kind of part of my master plan. Finally arrived at the Pear jungle. First, let's head up base camp. Done. Let's get started. Don't be impatient and don't be in a rush. There's no guarantee of survival unless we come back, before exhausting all your monster's energy points. Yeah, you see, let's talk about that real quick before we get underway. Energy runs in increments of 70. Now, it doesn't really start counting until you hit 140. I was trying, keyword, to get her HP to 210 before this happened. Thankfully, I know the general path I need to take. I'm not even going to risk it. I'm going to go around. And let me check the map so I don't mess up. Yes, much to my dismay, this is indeed the way we need to go. This is not going to be fun. I've actually had Koto doing some strength training recently, but if I have to luck-sack this one too, I'll do it. I am not above that. Oh, come on. Maybe I should have taken RockLobster out of hibernation to do this for me. Clear all the boulders and then just come back later. Alright. Nothing that Koto can do. There seems to be another passage, which is precisely what we need. So we actually need to come over this direction. Next order of business, we head straight north. Can't go further. Oh, come on. If we can clear this out of the way, we are literally where we need to be. Okay, good. Because even if we don't get it, we can come back next year. What is this building? It really is something. It must have been a fine place once upon a time. Might possibly contain a lot of treasure. There's only one treasure I really want. According to legendcup.com, it's a common find, so... Yes! This is a sheath. It's really old, but it's well made. What? Is this a... It's the old sheath of the legendary double-edged sword. They say some monster's soul has been sealed inside the sword. That sword should be out there somewhere. Let me keep the sheath for now. What? Are you going to bring it with you? It's called an unexpected piece of good luck. You never know what might turn out to be useful in this world. Nope, we're done. There are some other good items here, and this is in fact the expedition where you can find the gold peach. But speaking of monster lifespan, I've kind of hurt Koto enough by my ineptitude. So we're just going to retreat now while the getting's good, because even though it was pure dumb luck, I got what I came for. Let's check the results. Yes, this is the old sheath. Made quite a progress this time. Also, once you find one of those shortcuts, they're open permanently, and other monsters, even if they don't have the intelligence to unlock them, can then continue down them. Let's go back to my home sweet home. Now I can go home. After all, this adventure was success. No, she's going to be completely exhausted, so it's kind of moot. As you can see, it was a good adventure. Once again, give her tablets to help make up for the fact that I am a bad rancher. Yeah, I kind of let that one sneak up on me, but thankfully we actually got the item we needed really expeditiously, so I'm really happy with the end results of that. Mail. That's actually good, because that's where we're headed next. Koto seems very... Yeah, I'm sorry, Koto. I am a bad rancher. I did not expect for you to fight in a tournament and then have to go on expedition immediately afterward. But honestly, we don't have to go back to Pear ever again if we don't want to. Welcome. Are you having a sale? Yes, it's a great discount. Did you hear about the theft? What's that? I heard there was a fellow who found swords in Pear region. This guy attempted to sell the swords to Fimba and got busted. Swords in Pear. They must be the swords for the sheath. The sword was selling for 15 million gold. 15 million! Well, there were several swords. I should wrap this shop up and start selling swords. Don't say that, Auntie. I know. That's actually a very important event we just triggered. Actually, I'm pretty well stocked, I think. Yeah, we're doing okay. This is a prerequisite. And now that we've had that conversation, when we get to the A rank, a new battle will open up. And that is actually a prerequisite for another species unlock, and one that I'm very much anticipating. I think that's going to call it for this week. I'll catch you guys next week as Koto continues her expedition high, and hopefully I get good. And I'll see you then.